You're listening to Winnipeg's Classic 107. My name is Simon Rusnak. Sistema Winnipeg provides music education, builds community, and offers inspiration as a tool for social change as a daily after-school program provided at no cost to participating families. Now, their way about the communities they serve just got a little bit easier thanks to a newly announced partnership with Peg City Car Co-op. To learn more, WSO Sistema and Education Manager Jeffrey Acosta and Philip Mikulak, Managing Director of Peg City Car Co-op, have joined me. Hello to you both.
Hello, thanks so much for having me.
Hello.
Philip, well, for those who might not be familiar with the idea of a car share, let me start by asking you to tell us a little bit more about Peg City Car Co-op.
Great. Yeah. So Peg City Car Co-op is Winnipeg's one and only car sharing service. We actually started just a little bit over 10 years ago, which is a couple cars in Osborne Village. Basically just asking the question, would car sharing work in Winnipeg? And why isn't it here? And we found that there was no good reason for it to not be here, just not the right people at the right time willing to invest in to build a car sharing program. And basically the idea of car sharing is that some people don't want to own a car, can't afford a car, or maybe want to own fewer cars, and they need a reliable, convenient way to access vehicles on a 24/7 basis. And so basically Peg City Car Co-op is a membership-based service. Our cars are placed in a network around various neighborhoods in Winnipeg. So we went from one neighborhood and a few cars in Osborne 10 years ago to now serving multiple neighborhoods, like about 13 with 70 cars, soon to be 90 cars.
Wow.
And the whole way the system works and why it makes it easier for people to shed cars is because these cars are available to them 24/7, make bookings on your own, and in very flexible increments of time. A minimum booking is 1 hour, then you add time in increments of 15. You go and access the car yourself with a special key fob that recognizes that you're the appropriate person accessing the car. So that's it in a broad brushstrokes.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate you sharing all of that information. And there's plenty of information there. One thing just to reiterate, 10 years, that is a milestone. So congrats, and especially the growth that Peg City has seen over the years. That's a real accomplishment.
Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, it's been difficult at times, but we really, especially in the last few years, really hit our stride. And as people start to recognize car sharing as a viable option, we've really been able to capitalize on that and grow quite considerably. And we're soon going to hit 100 cars, and that's it would have been nice to do that 100 cars 10 years, but
Real close.
We're real close.
Yeah, real close. Jeffrey, what does this new partnership mean for Sistema Winnipeg?
Yeah, so this new partnership has been kind of set earlier in January, but what it allows us to do is to be able to have another option for transportation for some of our students. We have a couple students that attend Winnipeg Youth Orchestras, which is another string ensemble in the city, and they rehearse on Mondays. And we have currently 7 students in one of the ensembles. They're all on the one day. So just to help out with transportation, we approached Peg City Car Co-op to help make transportation a little bit more accessible for us and the students attending.
Yeah, no, and I mean, really excited to see how that helps those students make it to Winnipeg Youth Orchestras. Just out of curiosity, how many students are involved in Sistema this year?
In Sistema, it's close to around 100, 110 or so. Yeah.
So it's a really good enrollment this year. And again, just the work that Sistema does to help, build that inspiration and that drive for social change through music and music education. We just can't talk about it enough. I guess I'm curious if you could expand more on the impact that this partnership will have on students and perhaps even their families as well, participating in the program.
Totally. Well, I think first off and foremost, having this partnership also exposes the idea of the card sharing program to the Sistema families. Some of the families are in like the Maple Seven Oaks area. Some of them are in like the Selkirk Arlington area too, where transportation can be a little bit of a struggle at times. So this also exposes them to this idea of the car sharing co-op that Peg City Car Co-op does provide. It's also great having access to the vehicles whenever we do need them too. So not specifically just for the rehearsals once a week, but if we do need it for an event to transport a bunch of instruments all at once too, it allows us to make things a little bit more accessible that way instead of using a bunch of staff sedans. We might have access to a minivan, some larger and great vehicles to use.
Philip, why was Peg City interested in partnering with Sistema?
Yeah, great question. I mean, ultimately, Jeffrey reached out to us, which was fantastic, and we're always looking for new partners. And then specifically, actually, one of our mandates through our history is actually to support the arts in Winnipeg in the way that we can as a transportation company, both often in combination of being able to have access to our vehicles, and also through in-kind donations, is also other sponsorship opportunities. So we already have a great relationship with I think the arts community. We have sponsored in the past the Fringe Festival. We have worked with Rainbow Trout. We also support Art City, Synonym, and Wall to Wall. I don't know if you've ever seen our vehicles. Some of the vehicles that we've wrapped, actually,
they're awesome. They're real striking.
Yeah, so the arts, and that's something that's also really important to me. In fact, my wife is an artist. She's an actor here in Winnipeg, and it's something that's close to me as well. And I know that, and then also the combination of arts and working with communities that are often overlooked or in certain communities. So when Jeffrey reached out to me, that really spoke to me as part of our mandate. And again, we're a transportation company, and we can see how often people need reliable transportation, and that's what we can offer. And yeah, even speaking to the opportunities there, where we also like to sponsor events. Right now, that's tough, but we see that opportunity here too in the future. And yeah, even knowing that Sistema has access to our cargo vans, so if they got to transport large instruments, they can grab one of our cargo vans and use it. And yeah, it means a lot to us that they have that access, and we're happy. It's a start of a relationship. It's new, but I'm really excited to see where it goes and how we can build on it for years to come.
Absolutely. You kind of answered one of my questions there, though. The big question being, there's some larger instruments. I'm not sure a double bass is going to fit into a Prius, but I know that there's some cargo vans and trucks also available for them to use then, right?
That's right. Yeah, we want to grow a fleet that is diverse, that gives people the opportunity to use the right vehicle for the right trip. And while there are often a lot of trucks driving around for no good reason at all, our trucks and our cargo vans are actually used a lot for hauling, goods and sometimes even instruments. And so that's a big part of what we do as well.
So Jeffrey, one last question to you. As we've been hearing so much, Sistema does such great work in the community, and we know that Winnipeg can be a very supportive environment, like Philip was just speaking to. I guess if there's someone who might be listening, a business or a group who's thinking, well, how might I be able to help out Sistema? What would you say to potential future partners?
Totally. Well, we're always open to connecting with those that are interested in connecting with us at Sistema Winnipeg. The best place to go off to right off the bat for information would be our website. So we do have a website. It's www.sistemawinnipeg.ca, and that's spelled SISTEMAWINNIPEG.ca. I almost misspelled Winnipeg there. I'm so sorry.
Gets all of us.
Yeah. Mixing up my P's and my N's for Winnipeg. But yeah, that's a great place to go for information. You can also see pictures of the staff that we have on board. You can see ways to support us. We accept monetary donations. We also accept donations in the form of instruments. And it never hurts to even just send a resume and see if we have something available at the time. And regardless of that, if we don't, I do keep everything on file for future reference and even for volunteer opportunities as well. Fingers crossed that we're able to put on an in-person event by June. So fingers crossed for that. But if not, it's something in the future that we're aiming to have for sure.
And we'll be sure to have you back on ahead of that. Philip, Jeffrey, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.